in that moment, I just knew this is something else.
Definitely the worst case scenario for women is having an affected child.
The monsters inside me. June 2016. Bryce and Nikki returned to Arizona after their honeymoon.
I'm usually the type of person where I get home, I want to unpack everything. I didn't feel like myself.
I found myself laughing, and he really wasn't. I started observing him. He looked like he was in a haze. It was almost like the lights were on, but nobody was really home. I walked into the bedroom to him kind of rolling around in the bed in what appeared to be agonizing pain.
And Bryce is now developing signs of a fever.
And I said, we need to go see a doctor. He didn't have any more vacation left, he said.
And to Nikki's disappointment, for the fourth straight day, Bryce drags himself to work. At the front desk of the clinic, Nikki checks in while Bryce waits in the car. But as she's speaking to the triage nurse, she runs into a problem.
She was adamant that I could not bring my husband into the building because he had a fever and a rash. She thought it could be contagious, and she wasn't willing to put the staff at risk of catching whatever it is that he may have. So who can we turn to next?
An urgent care facility refuses to treat him. Bryce's wife, Nikki, is stunned. Back in the car, Nikki tells Bryce that they should go straight to the ER, but he refuses to go.
I'm not a huge fan of hospitals. They just feel so uncomfortable. So any chance I can to avoid it, I'll take that route. And I just thought, you know, we'll go home. This rash is gonna be gone in the morning. Whatever, it is what it is.
It was really a struggle for me. I felt like my hands were kind of tied behind my back, and I felt like I was failing as a wife, and this was my first week on the job. I wanted him seen and under a doctor's care as soon as possible.
At the emergency room, an attending physician takes Bryce's medical history, including any recent foreign travel.
The ER doctor notified us that there are foreign-born illnesses that come out of Jamaica.
After a 13-hour wait, the doctor finally returns with the results.
He said, well, Bryce, the good news is we know what's going on. The bad news is you have measles.
Bryce is told to stay home for a week while he remains contagious. Nikki listens to the doctor's advice, but she's left with a nagging feeling that something isn't right.
Bryce had shown that he was positively immune to the measles.
Panicked, Nikki calls the county health department for a second opinion, but is immediately transferred to the Center for Disease Control.
They were going to need some more samples from Bryce. But at this point, they indicated a severe rush on things.
I was shocked that I had Zika. No one in my home state I've ever heard of having it.
We were terrified. We really didn't know what we were up against.
Slowly, Bryce and Nikki realize the awful reality of their situation.
Our plan was, as soon as we get home from our honeymoon, we wanted to start a family. Zika really shattered that for us.
We were instructed to hold off on family planning for at least 6 months, a minimum of 6 months.
And I began to cry. It was heartbreaking.
The monsters inside me.